Hello everybody, I'm AJ.
And I'm Aaron.
And we're from modernintel.ca. Today we're going to do a review on the TM7.
There it is there.
Basically what we're going to talk about is general specs of the gun, what it's made out of, maybe a little bit of pros and cons, and maybe a final verdict to round everything out. So, general specs of the gun. It's electronic, battery powered, you gotta turn it on, it's full auto. It's plastic, and it's only this big.
Yeah. It's a nice low profile. It's modeled after the MP7 guns, which are meant to be low profile. It's got this stock that goes into the gun. That's kind of cool.
It's adjustable, so depending on where you want the gun, you can have it, right?
This gun will only run on HPA. CO2 is not allowed. Like AJ said, you got a single fire mode, you got 3-round burst and full auto. Gun uses
Auto cocker
threaded barrels. That's not to say that everyone will work. It's kind of like it's got a shroud on the inside, so if it's got too much shape to the barrel, it won't fit. Kind of like the TPX actually. So you got to make sure it's kind of straight, otherwise it won't fit. It's got an adjustable, a flip down hand there, a foregrip. The air runs through the grip, so that's kind of cool. You don't have any braided lines go into the gun. And like AJ said, it's fully plastic pretty much everywhere.
The selector handle is pretty easy to get to, so when you're holding it, you can pretty much just slide it whichever way you want, right? Safe at the top, or at the top there. Just semi-automatic, 3-round bursts, and then full auto. And when you switch it between the two, you have to like fire 2 or 3 shots, and then hold down, and it'll continue to fire a 3-round burst, or it'll continue to fire full auto. Picatinny rails on the top and on the side, so you can mount whatever you want, and on the bottom, so if you want to change the foregrip or do whatever you want. Comes with a little bit of a sight at the back there, and a hopper neck on their side there too. The velocity, to change it, you have to kind of stick your Allen key inside the gun. There's a bit of a hole right behind the grip, and you kind of have to spin it that way. And I find that's a bit of a problem if you have like a tank already on there and a hopper and all that.
Even if you have like Roma line on there, you really only have this much space from there to there. It takes forever to set up. That's kind of a pain.
Pro, I guess, is where the battery placement is. It's pretty easy to get to, so if you ever do end up having your battery die on you, you can switch it pretty easily. And the adjustable stock, it's pretty. It's fit for pretty much anybody, so if you want it a little bit further away, whichever's comfortable for your body style, right? You can have it. Con for me is you have to turn it on. You have to hit a button to turn this thing on. I think that's kind of dumb. And nowhere ever have I seen a mil-sim gun that needs to be turned on with a button, or needs to be run by a battery.
Con for me, the selector switch is cool, but it's really, really loose. Like, you're gonna knock it back and forth. You're gonna be in auto, and then you're gonna shoot, and you're gonna flip it up to 3-round burst or something, right? So that's kind of an issue. Another con for me, actually, I think for like almost everybody, the trigger on this is, it feels like you're squishing like a sponge or something, and it's really sensitive. Like, if you so much as like just tap it,
You're fired
or a
off.
butterfly lands on it, it's gonna go off. So, like, you can expect to shoot these things off with the barrel cover or the condom on it on the waiting zone, you know, the setup zone. Another con with the selector switch system is that when you get it into another mode, like 3-round burst or something, you need to take 3 shots before it actually goes in that mode. You gotta go 1, 2, 3, and then hold, and then if you got full auto, then you just hold it and it goes from there. But if you take your finger off the trigger and wait a couple seconds, you gotta go 1, 2, 3 again and then hold it. So it's kind of just, that's kind of goofy. It'd be nice if it went right in because I'm pretty sure real rifles, when you go to auto, it's in auto. Like, you don't have to take safety shots or anything goofy like that.
Another pro with this one is that normal guns run at like what, 800 psi. This one is really low. It runs at like 200. So that's a pro. But in my mind, probably a lot of people, because they're going to be mostly speedballers, are probably going to have it stuck in either 3-round bursts or full auto. So I think that the amount of shots they're shooting is just going to balance itself out.
Yeah.
So really, you're just wasting the same amount of air anyways. But good job.
The con that I have with this gun is that the BT rip clip, everybody knows about, it feeds it in automatically when it hears the gunshot. This is not compatible with the current version. If you try to mount it on, the shape of the body doesn't actually allow you to mount it onto the gun. So you can't use it. You need to get an extra plate for it. They may come with them now. They eventually will. I know there's a TM rip clip coming out eventually, but it's not out now, and this came out maybe about a year ago, and I think that's kind of a downside, because when you get this gun, you need to get another, like just some random hopper. And when you get some random hopper, chances are it's going to look something like this, where we all know that the rip clip's a low profile system. You can get like a little tack cap, or even like the low profile X7 hopper or something. With this, when you put it into the gun, check that out. Like, the hopper is almost the same size as the gun, so it kind of defeats the whole purpose. It makes it ridiculously more heavy, and it just makes it useless. There's really no point to it anymore. Like, it may have been low profile to begin with, but now it's huge.
Another con is because it's electronic inside, if it's raining out or anything like that, you're gonna have a hard time, right? If water gets into this, you're basically effing up the inside of this gun. If you take it outside on a cold Canadian day, and then take it inside, just the condensation could also ruin it. So really, you're limited to just summer use, or US use right down south there. Really, that's a huge con, because what's the point in having a paintball gun that you can only use in the summer?
Yeah.
When it's not raining.
Yeah.
That's not Milsim.
A pro with me, I am a big fan of the CQB look. So the MP7 look is cool for me. I like that, but I don't like how it's plastic. MP7 is not plastic.
My final verdict on it, I would have to say, a couple points off for being electronic. You have to turn it on, its battery. You have to buy like an electronic hopper, so basically the thing gets just retarded looking. I'd give it a 6.
Okay. And for me, my final verdict, I would have to give it a 7.5. I like the fact that it's auto. You have the selector switch, so it's actually good for a heavy gunner on your team, because just like any team, you're going to have auto guns, so you're going to need on your team somebody that shoots a lot of rounds too. It's also good for the speedballers that are looking to get into woods ball. I'm not going to call this Milsim, because it's not. So it's a good entry gun for that. The plastic I would trade off for aluminum, so not a big fan of the plastic. And the selector switch and the trigger, they're just mushy and they don't feel good at all. And the fact that you can't run a rip clip, that's just kind of goofy as well. So I think that about does it. Stay tuned for our testing, our field testing, and we'll be doing a disassembly as well. Thanks a lot, guys.